Welcome in, everybody, to the campus of Ann Arbor Skyline High School for CTN's Game of the Week. We've got ladies water polo between the Pioneers and the host, Ann Arbor Skyline Eagles. I'm Nick Wisniewski. With me, as always, is Kevin Bryant. Kevin, tell me what we're going to see tonight.
We're going to see some great action, Nick, from two teams that are really rebuilding. These are perennial state powers. Down year right now. We're going to see who's going to come out on top in this early season action.
Sounds good. Stick around. We'll be right back with Game of the Week action. Welcome back, everybody, to Ann Arbor Skyline and the Bird Bath. We're here with CTN's Game of the Week, waiting on the opening ball toss here. And off we go. Home squad Eagles moving right to left on your television dial. And the Pioneers will be defending that left end, moving left to right.
You know, Nick, when you look at these two teams in the past, they've been very close as far as, the score is concerned, 1 or 2 goal difference, and I think that one right there is actually going to count.
Yeah, that one just barely snuck by Emma Packard there. That's the senior goal minder there. And you're right. I mean, this is typically a pretty close-up matchup. These two squads played this past Friday. The Eagles prevailed in that one in a 3-2 matchup. And in their previous meeting, the Pioneers held the advantage pretty much the entire game, 1-0, up until about the last 2 minutes 40 seconds when Skyline made a rush back, ended up winning that match 3-2.
Well, you know that the coach Godick for the Eagles is a disciple from Will Hart. Played under Will Hart, brought that same style over here to Skyline, was followed up to Coach Hart first it was Skyline winning the state championship in 2015, and then right after that you have Pioneer, and that was Coach Hart's 5th state championship. That is a person that has been well received in these waters over the past couple of years since he's been around coaching.
Yeah, Coach Hart, like you said, 5 girls state championships, 2 boys state championships in his illustrious 17-year career here for the Pioneers.
And as we were saying, Nick, in the open, that both teams, they're for the first time in about first time last year that we did not have one of the local area teams fighting for a state championship. So now this is kind of like a rebuilding year for both squads.
No, that definitely speaks to, not just these squads, but really, just this area's commitment to all different types of sports and all different types of athletics, no matter what they might be. Again, you're not getting a lot of water polo in a lot of other school districts, and the fact that the Ann Arbor area fosters it, it's pretty cool. It makes things really interesting.
Yeah, and right on the heels for Skyline of winning the boys state swimming and diving championship. So I tell you, there's some good things coming out of this pool.
Right you are, right you are. There we got a pass driving forward there. There you can see Skyline's senior goalkeeper, Camber Zisler. This is actually her first year ever playing water polo.
Wow, she's coming off strong in the net there. And the goalkeeper for both teams have been well, too. You can see a block right there popping right out of the water.
And that's Emma Packard. She's a senior goalkeeper. She, talking to Coach Wilhart before the game, just glowing things to say about her, obviously. This is her second year starting. He mentioned she could have been starting since her freshman year, but they had, state champion and state level talent all the way these past 4 years.
So sometimes it kind of behooves some of the younger players to learn, you're saying, from some of the upperclassmen? Wait
Shocking.
their turn?
Shocking.
Come on.
Another great save there by Packard. Just in the exact right position there. Right in front of Ella Sadler. And there we see Packard again getting the offense started. Long pass down to Grace Steffen. Steffen doing a job working that way in, trying to drive that ball in. And big shot there. Big shot by Mary Beth Melcher. Excuse me on that. Mary Beth Melcher on that one. She is the big center forward. She is the big hole set that everybody's going to be keying in on for the Skyline defense. Skyline defense is going to really try to get in between her, play some zone, or maybe even drop in a little bit to stay in front of her because she's got some power, and you just saw it right there.
And you gotta help out your netminder. And Zessler in the net for the Eagles just was hung out to dry on that last shot. Not a lot of defense before the shot was released.
No, you're right. You are, Kevin. Right, you are. And the Eagles working around their perimeter there. Once again, trying to get into their hole set position there, trying to get it into Sarah Morris.
And right now, you can see a lot of the passes touching the water, and that's something that Coach Hart is definitely going to, Coach Godick is going to talk to her Eagles about. Clean passing speeds this game up, and when you can catch the defender out of position, you got to be ready. And if you get a clean pass, you can really get a clean, quick shot on goal.
Oh, of course, the cleaner the pass, the more like you are to be able to obviously receive that pass, then make that turn, whether there's a defender there or not, and then it's up to you to make that move. But yeah, you're right, absolutely. Always starts with the pass. On the other end of things, Coach Hart mentioned that beforehand. He said his team's turning the ball over a lot, and that has been their biggest problem so far this year. One of the biggest reasons why they're 4-8-1. And, it's between transition, but also he said mainly in their offensive set around the perimeter. That's the biggest problem here. Speaking of problems, we have a little bit of a stoppage of play here. And we'll be discussing exactly what's going on. That said, the clock is still running. We're at 2:57 and counting down. First period here. CTN's game of the week.
That's nice. Checking a look at the scoreboard over there. That big ejection. That's new, isn't it? We didn't have the wording up there.
No, it's nice. And again, at that point, there's no confusion for parents in the stands, new folks, broadcasters. Everybody knows exactly what is going on. And here we'll get going again.
And you're right, Nick. That had to be a clock issue. They clocked it down to about 2:52, and then they restarted it.
Yeah, that guy never stopped. So one of our officials here may have noticed.
Probably after that last goal that you were talking about.
Very likely.
Yeah.
As that pass into.
That's a good job by the defense of Skyline, playing it right back to ignite this transition offense.
See Ella Sadler working the ball around a little bit to Sarah Morris. Long shot, long shot, hits the crossbar. Not a whole lot of pep on that shot, but it seemed it was aimed just perfectly.
Well, it was eyeball in that far corner, and good job of looking at it all the way through to the post was the netminder Packard. She didn't get out of position with those lob shots. It's all about timing.
You see Mary Beth Melcher once again That said, she is just being completely harassed by the Skyline defense. Nowhere to go. Can't even really get an up straight look at things. And shot clock violation on that, and we might have...
Yeah, they usually take someone out for a couple seconds when they have that.
Delay a game warning on that or penalty on that. Hey,
did I get on camera?
There we go. Well done.
Man, did you see the reaction time
quick
off
reaction,
of the
quick
announcement?
hands.
I mean, come on. I caught
Quick
it.
hands.
It was right in my hand.
Well played.
Wow.
Well played. Unfortunately, as you know, only the goalkeeper can use 2 hands. You were expected for 1 on that one.
I understand, but then, come on. I mean, age bracket, they got to give me a little bit on that one.
No, I'll definitely give you the heads up on that. Good peripheral vision on that. And another missed opportunity there by the Skyline Eagles. Just shot just a little over the crossbar. Emma Packard getting things out quick again for Jenny Kurzakowski, excuse me.
Easy for you to say.
Right. You see Mary DeBona working it, but again, Skyline's defense doing a great job of getting right up in the middle of the grill of those Pioneers.
Yeah, and you can see across the entire pool, each player for Skyline, and they have those dark caps on, folks. They are right up next to the Pioneer player. They're not giving them an inch.
Yeah, great job of marking man-to-man, player-to-player, if you will. And there goes another 30-second violation on Pioneer. And Skyline wastes no time getting out in transition, toss the ball up ahead.
And both of those shot clock violations will they're turnovers in Coach Hart's book.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, they're turnovers in anybody's book. Wide perimeter shot there by Skyline once again. Once again, Packard not fooled by that one even a little bit, but she finds her favorite outlet in Kurzakowski. And she's just given no space by Madison Denninger.
Yeah,
Denninger is in her the whole way.
Well, when Skyline gets back the possession of the ball, you want to see if they're going to take a little bit more time and work in the offense. They're not they're having Packard eyeball the shooter down and not really making her move side to side.
No, you're absolutely right, and that is a 3rd consecutive 30-second violation, shot clock violation on the Pioneers, and Coach Hart cannot be happy with that. And with that sound, that'll be the end of our first period here at Skyline High School with the score knotted 1-1. We'll be back momentarily.
The number one positive as an AD is you want kids to leave in high school saying, yeah, I had a great experience. Athletics was a big part of my life. It may not be what I'm doing in the future, but it was a big part, and yeah, I came from Skyline High School, and that's why I'm at the success I want. And if I can do that as an AD, get kids to leave here with a positive mindset and have success in the future, then we've done our job.
Let's just look at that.
You really find out where that
now you see
that rivalry stuff happens really between 3 schools. You know, it's Skyline does not want to get beat by Pioneer or Huron in anything. Pioneer doesn't want to get beat by us or Huron, and Huron doesn't want to get beat by Pioneer. There's a true rivalry between these schools, and it's exciting. And you see the kids' excitement and enthusiasm when they come to events when it's against those rivalry teams. And that's, to me, what a great part about being a part of athletics is that type of rivalry. And you see that here in Ann Arbor. You've got a lot of great athletes in this city.
Skyline on the verge here. They go to their money person, and it's out of bounds.
When you come into a new setting, a new building, you know, you take a lot of your experience from the past and say, okay, we're not going to bring everything, but let's take a look at how things are run here and what kind of support do you get? What do you need to do to make things run smooth? And I came in here just sort of standing back, sort of watching, okay, this is how things are run. Let's see, do I need to tweak things down the road? And you know, I've got a great support cast in my secretary, in my supervision people. I've got so much support. The parents are supportive, the administrative team are supportive, the teachers are supportive. I mean, it's an atmosphere that you can be excited to come to every day. And I am. I come here early in the morning, I leave late at night, and I enjoy every part of it because of what surrounds me here. And you know, you come in a little nervous on how it's going to be, but you know, after 6 months into it, I'm pretty excited and happy that I made this move. It'll be a good year to place to finish. I'm Bob Wellman. I'm the athletic director at Skyline High School. Don't go anywhere. You're watching CTN Sports.
Welcome back, everybody, to CTN's Game of the Week. We got a barn burner so far between the Skyline Eagles and the Pioneers. Score is 1-1. Kevin, what did we see in that first period?
Defense. A lot of turnovers, though. You were mentioning just before we went to break about the missed opportunities for the Pioneers. 3 consecutive possessions where they turned the ball over. Flip side of that is that the Eagles did not capitalize. So we hopefully will see a little bit of improvement from both sides in this second period.
No, you're right on. Again, the Pioneers had those 3 consecutive turnovers with the shot clock violations, but it seemed like the Eagles came back down and kind of took meek shots or really couldn't get anything going. So again, like you said, both squads really struggling offensively here.
Yeah, but on the good side for Coach Godick is that the fact that her team is playing stellar defense. When you have that type of effort out of your team, you know the offense is going to come around.
And here we see goaltender Emma Packard there, dishing off to Mary Beth Melcher. Kind of a different look, different player that's going to be driving the ball up forward here. But no difference. Again, Skyline's playing with that defense way out.
And the Pioneer offense is very stagnant, Nick. They're not moving around. You saw that last possession there where the Pioneer didn't even move the ball. They're just eyeballing it out front. There's an opportunity for the Eagles, uncapitalized. Number 2 should have taken a shot.
Yeah, Morris seemed just bent on turning back around and going back around the perimeter as opposed to trying to switch it up and maybe spin around, drive towards that hole set a little closer. But again, as we mentioned, we've got a couple of young squads here,
exactly.
and they might not be entirely sure of how to get the ball going. And again, I know especially Pioneer, they've graduated some players here the last few years. So, it's a big process going from like, I'm going to feed that person, I'm going to feed that person, I'm going to feed that person. And then all of a sudden, I'm that person. I need to take that shot. I need to be going for it and be the aggressor. You don't become the alpha overnight.
No, well, some people, they have that quality, and other people, it gets brought out of them. So I think that's what you're alluding to. Both coaches are waiting for somebody to step up and take that mantle.
There, Melcher bringing it across about the half-pool line right there. She's got Sarah Morris right in her grill the entire way. And again, really tough for her to even see around the defender. And I think the big sin here for Pioneers, it doesn't seem like anybody's moving.
Yeah, and see, on that last pass there, you're seeing some inexperienced players out in the pool that aren't moving around to get a better angle at the net. They're really just fighting up under that water. You might think that these players are just standing still. A lot of action, though, is definitely going on under that water.
That is 100% true. Again, those legs are never stop kicking. They call that egg beatering underneath the water. You're completely right about that. There we see Ella Sadler once again from that right side, from that right forward position. Maybe a little bit of an advantage penalty right there. Going back top side to Maddie McAdams. Launches it from deep, high shot, but to no avail.
Yeah, a little bit extra follow through on that shot,
and
you might be having it come right over the head of the netminder, man.
Melcher then looking for anybody, it kind of feels like. There she dribbles in a little bit more. Again, that whole set position is completely covered up. Nice shot, though. Nice job trying to get a little height off that. Went right off the crossbar.
And she had a cannon of a shot there for Melcher. I mean, just it's a hard one. Just, a couple inches here or there, and that's in the net.
And you can see Melcher, she had a little bit of momentum there, which really helped her get up and get a little extra oomph onto that shot. You got a little no-looker pass right there back to the goalkeeper. You see a long outlet pass there to Mary Beth Melcher once again. I think we're going to be saying her name an awful lot this evening.
She's definitely possessing the ball each time the Pioneers get it. And that last shot attempt, if that's any indication of what she has in that right arm, I can tell you why she has the ball.
And I think previously Melcher was really looking to pass a lot more. And these last couple of times down the pool, she's just kind of in solo mode. Right? She's going to be the one driving forward and trying to take some shots.
Good job there on defense for 15 for the Eagles, coming up with the steal there. Allison Look put her hand right up in the path of the pass and then triggered the outlet. Unfortunately, her teammate slowed down and didn't take that momentum right to the goal mouth.
And with 3:08 here left to go, let's play in the first half. This one's still knotted up 1-1.
See, I'm going to go with Jenny. That's a lot easier than 12's last name. And Jenny was triggering it from out top, looking down inside. And there was a good job of the Eagles collapsing in and doubling up on the post pass.
No, you're right on. Not surprising that Wisniewski is going to be able to pull off the Kurzakowski name here and there.
Well, see, that's why I allowed the big chair to take care of the big work.
Here you go, driving forward, Maddie McAdams once again for the Eagles. Oh,
Now that was a save.
Little bounce, kind of bounced up over the crossbar there. Fortunate turn of events for Emma Packard.
I mean, take a look at this here, Nick. I mean, right time, right place, and right job. Just take it out of the net. That's all your job is, right?
That crossbar is going to be the goaltender's best friend every single time, and there we see another example of it.
We've had a clean match so far. No one has actually been taken out of play, so both teams staying at full strength.
Yeah, and no man-up advantages. That's keeps things interesting. You're absolutely right. And more than anything, again, pace of play has been really good. Pace of play has been smooth. That said, I believe we now have somebody in the penalty area.
Yeah, now are they doing a substitution? That's what it looks like it's going in right now because somebody's in the box, but then they also are doing a substitution.
And here we go with the Eagles trying to work their offense around. Got 13 seconds on the man-up advantage here. And, you know, here's the next thing about the Eagles and the opportunities that they've really taken so far. It seems like they keep trying to go high on Packard. I don't know if they know something or if they're, you know, just that's all that they're interested in doing, but maybe a nice wet shot, a nice skipper, see what they can do there.
Well, again, even on that replay, you saw how the pass was mishandled. So it gave Packer time to redirect, reposition herself. If you get that pass clean, you might catch her sleeping.
You see Denninger working it around again.
Yeah.
Trying to get into that whole set position, trying to get it to Lynch, but to no avail.
Yeah, and the Pioneer defender did a great job of getting in between that pass and cutting off Lynch as she was trying to make a move to the pass. McAdams was offsides maybe? Not sure on that play.
Could have been. And kind of an errant pass right there by the Pioneers.
Well, you know what they're doing. They're looking for Melcher down into the post area. Nobody really has set you were talking about the person that's going to step up and be the leader on both squads. No one is man in the hole. No one is taking control in front of the goal mouth, and that usually takes control of an offensive set.
No, most definitely. Again, that's usually going to be your best player trying to get open and try to get that there. Nice long overhead pass there to Lynch once again, but to no avail.
Again, you got to have this ball dry. When you have a dry pass, it's an easier shot.
Here you got a little fast break action there. Evelyn Boughton right there. Unfortunately, she was overcome by Lynch on that play.
Boy, Lynch.
I misspoke. That was Allison Locke, actually. It's 15 Allison Locke that ended up catching up with her there.
There's a look at that last we're watching the offense there set, and we're really trying to give you an indication of how those passes aren't being held up out of the water. And if they are, Nick, that's when those Eagles can take advantage of those opportunities of flipping the pool.
Nope, you're completely right. And with 43 seconds left here to go in the half, once again, 1-1. is our current score. But not for lack of opportunities here in this second quarter.
No, and sometimes you would think, we were mentioning both teams are young or inexperienced. Both teams are playing great defense.
Right, you are. Now I think the big trick is, on top of the defense, is trying to see if these squads can get something going in transition. That seems to be the real big issue. That seems to be the real big problem. And that obviously starts with your goaltenders. Right there you've got, once again, Camber Zisler. But, that first outlet pass is obviously critical. You got 9 seconds left on both the shot clock and the game clock here as things count down with 5 to go. I think the Eagles might just take a little half-hearted attempt there. And that's halftime. We've got things at 1-1. But please stick around, everybody. Stick around. Kevin, obviously you're going to stick around.
I'm going to hang out.
Give us a few minutes.
I like my view.
Check out what CTN has to offer on this break, and we will be right back with Game of the Week, Ladies Water Polo.
Every June, the City of Ann Arbor's Mayor's Office hosts the annual Mayor's Green Fair to celebrate our community's environmental leadership as exhibited by citizens, nonprofits, businesses, and government.
Because it's great. There's music, there's good food, and there's a lot of great information.
Located in Ann Arbor's downtown, the Green Fair is open to the public and will feature displays of environmental information, green products, live music, and general enjoyment of the downtown environment. Exhibits will provide information and host hands-on activities for all ages.
And it's really important because the river is only as healthy as the lands that drain through it.
Exhibitors will show off innovative energy-saving designs and actions, including displays of alternative fuel vehicles, green building materials, solar energy installations, renewable energy installations, and more. For more information, visit a2gov.org/greenfair.
Well, you should do laundry every day. You should do it. I don't want to spell that.
That's way too much. Every day? How much laundry do you think I go through in a
Well,
single
at least wear
day?
clean clothes.
You should do laundry every day.
I got plenty of clothes to wear. New outfits one day a month.
Well, I'm sick of smelling you, dude.
I'm not a sweater.
You
I'm
stink,
not a
dude.
sweater.
I shouldn't
Just wash
smell
your
you at
clothes,
all.
man.
There's so many smells.
Then check and mate.
Welcome back, everybody, to CTN's Game of the Week. We got a tight one here with ladies water polo. Pioneer 1 goal, Skyline Eagles 1 goal. Kevin, what did we see in that first half?
Well, we saw a lot of defense. It's nice to see some fans out in the stands for these matches. They start so early. Sometimes parents can't get away from the job, but they didn't miss any goal-scoring action, that's for sure. A lot of back and forth action between both teams, and I'm going to reiterate what I said at the end of the first period. Pioneer has to, possess the ball better, and Skyline, when they get their opportunity, they need to take better quality shots on goal.
No, I think you're definitely right about that. Taking advantage of opportunities. Getting back to the fans, for what it's worth, it's beautiful weather inside
It's always
this pool
75,
right now.
80 in here.
You're not going to get any better climate in Michigan right now than in this pool. So I would show up to this one too.
Taking a look at both bench areas, it's not a big squad either for two teams that have been in really deep in postseason action recently. You can really see that both teams are rebuilding.
Small squads on both ends, obviously. Coach Hart told me that they're actually missing 2 starters this evening. So that's never a welcome thing when you're playing that crosstown rival.
Well, and with these two teams just meeting up, Nick, last week, very familiar with the attack from both sides. So, you know, of course, they're only 6 miles apart. All of these young ladies, they do a lot of swimming together in AAU, which Coach Godick is one of the 4 leaders in the area of coaching. So they're very familiar with each other's style of play.
No, you're right on. Again, you know, this is a pretty inclusive sport in an area, so they have played with each other a lot. Again, you mentioned Coach Godek. She won a Team USA Best Women's Coach Award a couple of seasons ago.
2014 Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
I found looking up her bio that, you know, she was an 8-time All-American at U of M.
Incredible.
And, you know, one of the only people to actually swim and be a water polo player at U of M, and you can see those banners on the wall that she's brought over here with all of that experience.
Yeah, and I mean, and again, you talk about all those accolades for her. You talk about Coach Hart, who's been doing this for as long as he has. Again, they've really built not teams, programs.
Yeah,
they
definitely have their fingertips on this sport, not just in this area, but throughout the state.
For sure. And that's why Game of the Week is here. Got the Pioneers moving right to left on your TV screen or your computer screen if you're checking this out on YouTube in stunning high definition.
Yeah, we got to make sure we don't have any noise going on. I don't want our, game to get blocked or anything. Jeez.
That's not a thing that would happen.
Never. Well, can't say never.
Also, don't forget to follow CTN Sports. And once again, there's our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor. Check out all of the amazing CTN programming, whether it's Game of the Week, FYI, what have you. Scintillating high definition.
You're stealing somebody's words there. Yeah, and that was a different action right there from Skyline, allowing the Zessler, the netminder, to trigger the offense. And you can see both squads are trying different sets to begin this third period.
Yeah, as you mentioned, trying a little something different with Zessler there coming out. I think both squads, this is the old halftime changes, halftime adjustments. Because, if you're only putting up one goal in what we've said is typically a pretty high-scoring sport, something's got to change.
Yeah, and I expect more, especially if maybe not in this period, but in that fourth period, if we're still knotted up like we are, to see both coaches utilize those timeouts and maybe set up a set play that they feel comfortable with.
There's a nice interior pass to Locke, the sophomore Locke once again. She tried to give a little skip, but didn't have quite the right spin on it, just kind of plunked right down in front of Packard there.
But it was a good thought of trying a different type of shot. I like to see that because, again, they're coming out after some coaching from halftime, and I'm sure that was on Coach Godick's mind as far as, hey, let's not just come out and do the same thing we did in the first 16 minutes.
No, you're right on. New half, new tactics.
14 minutes, 7-minute periods, right? I'm adding a little bit already. Right now, we are looking towards overtime.
3:42 left to go here in this third period. Try some cross-pool passes there. Oh, Sarah Morris, big shot. She hit that crossbar square.
It looks like we're going to get maybe a timeout.
No, I think you're right on. Definitely a timeout there, possibly by Coach Hart. He seems like he's got a few things to talk to his girls about.
Yeah, and I want to know what that last play was just before the timeout, because it looked like there had to be some type of infraction, because it was a turnover after that shot hit the post, and it looked like the ball was going to actually go back to the possession in Skyline's hands. And you can see Coach Godick right there trying to draw up a play, just what we were talking about, Nick.
And here we can see exactly what was going on that last play. There you see the shot by Morris. high shot. But again, Packard kind of looked around like she wasn't expecting that, or that wasn't supposed to be happening. Maybe a timeout was called earlier than that, before that.
That's a good call.
And then again, maybe Morris decided to just fire it in there
No,
anyway.
well, I think it's a good call because when I glance over at the shot clock, it's under 30 seconds. So possibly it was a change of possession, timeout real quick for the Eagles to set up this possession, because as we get closer and closer to the final moments of this match, that's when these coaches, they have to dial in the playbook and try to do their best job of putting their players in the position to be successful.
For sure, and again, when it is as close as it is, those X's and O's are really going to come in handy here. Second half of this quarter, and then last 7 minutes of the game as a whole. There we go, we got the interior toss into Zeisler right there. And we do actually have somebody in the penalty box. I believe that's Kurzakowski. And as we were focusing in on Kurzakowski, the Eagles take advantage of that man up and put one in the net and take the commanding 2-1 lead here at home.
And let's take a quick look at that last shot. It was quick right after the timeout, and it goes right to the bounce shot. And was that 15 on the shot there?
I believe that was locked.
And she was from the point, and it was right after Skyline went to a timeout.
And here we go again with the Eagles. More chances, more opportunities. That was Maddie McAdams on that one. Kind of a lob shot right over Packard on that play.
And it came after a transition, so it was a turnover that Coach Hart was talking about that his team needs to limit, comes back and bites them here in the third period.
Really nice, kind of a 2-on-1. She didn't really think about giving it up. She just kind of lofted it over Packard's head there. Really nice play. Hustle play, hustle play.
Hustle play, but then had the smarts to get that lob shot right in the back of the net.
Here we see the Pioneers working it around again. Zeisler comes up with that one, trying to look for an outlet pass. Nobody really finding it open. There we go.
Those two goals are really going to, stretch out this match as far as having the Eagles really take command, Nick.
You saw the southpaw Sadler there, looking for a few opportunities.
That's some physical play right in front of us.
She might have given a little too much body, leaned a little too much into that one. There, Sadler just decides to dump it. Now we'll see if the Pioneers have the opportunity to catch up on this, see if they can answer in the face of adversity here for those last two Skyline goals.
Rodriguez really couldn't control it there for the Pioneers.
Once again, great play by Sadler. Here she is moving forward, almost a breakaway. Nice drop back to Locke. Locke with that powerful shot, almost gets it past Packard, but not
Wow,
quite.
that was close, Nick. That was great reaction in the net. That ball was trickling back towards the goal line.
Oh, big shot there by Mary Beth Melcher. And she was not quite in that whole set position. She was a few meters out from where that is, but really nice shot. Receiving that pass, was pretty much all alone with Zeisler on that one. And she goes left-hand side, even with Sarah Morris all up in her grill. Great shot.
Oh, that was a fastball right down the middle of the plate, too. I mean, wow, right over the netminder's head.
Now this game's getting a little bit of that water polo action that we feel. Some back and forth, more opportunities, some scoring. With 1:40 left to go here in the third period, Skyline with a 3-2 lead now over the Pioneers.
I wonder what was said during that timeout about 2 minutes ago.
Whatever it was, it worked. It worked on both sides.
It sure did.
You see advantage for Kurzakowski on that one. Moving forward, nobody in her face. She's got a little time to make some space for herself, try to find somebody. They can work it around a little bit there.
There's another turnover.
Yeah, and that's a momentum killer there for the Pioneers.
A lot of energy in this last 2 minutes. Well, Packard almost jammed her finger putting her hand up to block that one.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that, obviously.
Yeah.
Again, that's a thing that can happen for sure.
Just popping up out of the water, you can jam your hand right on that post.
Here we try to see the Pioneers working it around that perimeter, trying to look for that hole set position, but no goal. The whole D just gets up and then driving forward here. A little bit of a lead pass for forward. And then play in transition, moving back with Evelyn Boughton there.
Good job by Allison Locke coming back in and disturbing the progression of the Pioneer player going right to the shot.
Yeah, back and forth, back and forth. I believe we've got a timeout here, probably by Skyline, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's the setup. The shot clock is off now for the third period. It's a good opportunity for the Eagles to take the last shot of this third period.
Right, you are 28 seconds left here to go. Even if, obviously they're trying to look to put one in the net, but just a good quality opportunity is what they need. I feel like the Eagles really haven't had a lot of those here in the last 3 minutes or so. Pretty much, again, like you said, since Coach Hart's timeout, they've not had great opportunities.
Yeah, and when you think about it, Coach Hart really, this is a possession after giving up 3 goals. Well, both teams giving up a total of 3 goals here in this period. They definitely don't want to allow Skyline to stretch that lead out going into the fourth and final period.
Nope, right you are. And there's Coach Hart probably saying something very similar to his girls now. You know, they want to keep up with that defense. They want to get right up in the faces of those Skyline Eagle players. But more than anything, they really don't want to screen Emma Packard. You know, she's got to be able to have a good look at, there it is. Ooh.
Yeah, it's deceiving from that angle there. You could almost see the black line, but that black line is at the bottom of the pool there. So you'll follow the blue line that goes into the center of the net. That ball didn't get anywhere close to that. Great job by Packer. Good reaction of just reaching back and knowing right where that ball was at. But I think you're right on the money as far as Coach Hart's mission to his players this final 28 seconds. It's to hold the fort down.
For sure.
We'll take another break. Then we can regroup for this fourth and final period.
And you did mention a little bit about the optical illusion of where that black line is, where the goal line is. I've been petitioning Game of the Week to get some GoPros in there for years now. Maybe we can get that happening here.
Our director actually wanted a cameraman to hold their breath underwater. And, you know, the GoPros cost a lot of money, he was saying.
That's true.
So
That's fair. That's fair.
got to be fiscally sound here.
I like it. I do like it. And I don't believe we ever had the scoreboard running. Now it is, though.
Yeah, but I don't think they actually, yeah, that's right. I'm just trying to jump ahead to the fourth period. That was just a timeout.
Yeah, it didn't start initially, and then it got going. Now we're moving again.
And you can see Pioneer. They dropped their defense into a zone now.
Yeah, they definitely pulled into that drop, but for every inch that they've sagged in.
And the Pioneers are down a man, too.
Oh, yes, they are. Right you are.
So now I think the officials are trying to figure out the time, maybe, Nick?
Could very well be what time she got in there, how much time is left currently. Again, there has been a little few discrepancies in the clock movement.
And that's our first time that we can see ejection on the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Helpful.
Wow, that was important. They took off 1 second.
That 1 second might be all it
you
takes
never
to
know,
put
right?
one in the net, though.
I'm still questioning if our cameraman can get the official that's on the side near us, his dirty koozies.
Oh, they're pretty. I mean, he's a busy guy.
But you got on all white, everything, and then you got on shoes that look like you just did yard work.
Yeah, he could throw those in some chlorine and some bleach. Yeah, that's fair. He could dip them in the pool, might help. Here we see the Eagles working it around with that man-up advantage, inching that perimeter in. You got Ella Sadler, the southpaw, trying to work it out to Madison Denninger. Sadler looking for that open opportunity, just couldn't quite find it. Again, that 1 second could have played a thing there because she rushed a little bit and didn't quite get the shot she was looking for.
Nah.
And at the end of 3 quarters of play, Skyline Eagles up 3-2 over the Pioneers. Stick around, we'll be right back with fourth quarter action here on CTN's Game of the Week.
I just wish there was some place I could watch my favorite local TV shows.
Wow! Cool, where am I?
You are in a computer terminal.
Who said that?
I am the god of computers. I heard your wish and granted you access to my terminal.
Really? I've always wanted to be inside one of these things. So what's next?
Visit CTN's and the City of Ann Arbor's streaming and video on demand 82gov.org/watchCTN.
What do I do there?
Here you can watch city meetings, community produced programs, school board and education programming, and a whole lot more.
Yes! This is great!
The live streams include CTN's 4 channels: government, public, educational, and community. Just click the sidebar for the channel you prefer and click play.
I can watch 4 channels. Cool.
For video on demand, go to youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to find your favorite show. Scroll through the mini playlists or simply use the search bar to type in the name of the program.
I wish I knew about this earlier.
Visit 82gov.org/watchCTN for CTN live streams and video on demand.
That's great. Now I can go tell my friends. Once I leave.
Goodbye.
Hello?
Welcome back, everybody, to the fourth and deciding quarter of our CTN Game of the Week here between the Skyline Eagles and the Pioneers. Ladies water polo, Skyline with a narrow 3-2 lead over the Pioneers. Kevin, what are we going to see here in this fourth quarter now?
Yeah, you want to see, Nick, if the Pioneers are going to be able to slow again down on those turnovers and get Melcher the ball quickly. She was lethal there in that third period, scoring a goal right over Zessler, the netminder for the Eagles. They definitely, being the Pioneers, have to find Melcher in the open area. Wow, 2 people just popped into each other right in front of me. Sorry.
Probably got some good padding on those helmets because nobody seems worse for the wear and everybody just kind of goes back to work.
Wow, I'm going to look for a tooth in the pool. That was a collision.
You see Sarah Morris unable to take that shot, looking for an open player. No help there. Here's that opportunity for the Pioneers. Like you said, they're often moving, dribbling forward quickly as possible.
And they're triggering similar. Wow, you see that hit. That's going to leave a mark. But you see Pioneer doing the exact same offensive triggering that the Eagles were doing, allowing the Packer to trigger the offense.
And a good goaltender is going to be the one that starts things off and gets things going, but it is up to that outlet pass. Whoever receives that pass first needs to do something with it, whether it's dribbling forward, whether it's dishing, whether it's taking a long shot. But that person really has to be the playmaker. That person really has to be the creator.
And this is now, you're going to, in the fourth period, Nick, now it's more about skill and experience. It's the will to win. Which team is going to fight through a little bit of fatigue? Which team is going to fight through, I might have to do some homework later tonight. Now it's about, let me focus in over this last 5:45. which team is going to execute the best.
And conditioning is also going to be a huge part of that as well.
Exactly.
You know, this early in the season, they're about a month in. They've got about 5 weeks left of the season. You know, who's conditioned up to this point, who's in better shape is going to be a big telling aspect.
And both teams with very short benches. I mean, that fatigue factor could really step in the second half of this fourth period. Nice shot.
And big shot right there by Melcher, exactly who we've just been talking about, exactly who the Eagles needed to zone in on, but she just turned around and had a really nice shot left side of Zessler there. And Pioneers have tied it up now.
Yeah, let's take a look at that shot. I mean, quickly she found space. If you saw the left arm extended out. She turned and fired a shot. Great form.
And again, she couldn't even really lean into it. She just got up and extended and just fired that shot in.
Now, there's a good pass.
Quick pass in now to Maddie McAdams, streaking towards the net. Looking for Madison Denninger, but that's a no-go. And it looks like we are going to have somebody go off there for Skyline. Or I'm sorry, for the Pioneers. That looks like Grace Steffen in the exclusion zone.
Nice.
Oh, almost a bunny right there for Maddie McAdams. They found her right in that hole set position. She looked at that the whole way too. It didn't even look like there was any sort of misdirection or fake. She just kind of said, this is where it's going, and that's where it went. She just
well,
went
you
right
see
in.
Sadler right there on the pass. Very good job of making it an effort to give the shot maker the opportunity to make the shot. Good job.
The Eagles now take the lead 4-3 with 4:44 left to go here in this matchup. There's Kurzakowski once again trying to find somebody streaking open for her. That'd be number 4, Evelyn Boughton, coming back to receive that pass.
Oh, that's good defense.
Very nice job knockaway there by Allison Locke. Now she sends it forward to Madison Denninger.
Smart play by Benninger to keep the possession and not force a bad shot.
No, that's a great call, but that's excellent defense by Kurzakowski getting back and staying in her face as well. Oh,
whoa.
Long shot there.
Now that was shot of the game for me. I mean, from up top, from Allison Look, and or is it Locke?
Locke.
Allison, she found the right upstairs, top shelf style with that goal.
Coach Godek had a lot of great things to say about Locke, and mainly the first thing she said was what a powerful shot she has and how dangerous she is.
Well, indication there, she goes short side of the net and goes right upstairs. Good placement of that shot.
Yeah, it seemed like Packard had her played pretty well, but again, when that thing's flying in as fast as it is, there's not much you can always do about it.
These Eagles are really stepping up here in this fourth period.
No, this second half has been a really great job of punch-counter-punch here on both squads. You can see Sadler once again. No great rush, but excellent defense.
We'll have a timeout for the Pioneers.
Yeah, the Pioneers who had just found their way back into this match. The Pioneers who had scratched and clawed to get things back even, and now they're down 2 again before you know it. You know, if you're Will Hart, what are you telling your girls?
Well, you gotta let them know that you're not losing or winning the state championship today. We're getting better. So you take this opportunity and take this setting. We're down by 2. This is what we need to do. Coachable moment, and a coach that has the reputation of Coach Hart definitely has something in the old tool shed that he can lay on the ladies.
And it's like you said, you know, they're not winning the state championship today. Pretty much everything, even the entire regular season, is that push towards the state tournament.
Yes, it's getting better. Each time we're in the pool, each time that we have an opportunity to learn, we need to take advantage of that. And that's what Rebecca right there for Skyline is telling her players as well too. Like, this is an opportunity for you to close this match out in your home pool for a young team. Learning how to win is right there up on the important scale of not losing as well too.
No, you're exactly right. Learning how to win is not easy to do, and you're going to lose a lot before you actually usually figure that out and see how that works. You know, it's those bumps in the road. And like you mentioned, again, coachable moments. Here is definitely one of those for both Coach Art, who you see there, and Coach Godek, who we mentioned a second ago.
And also, let's slow it down. You know, the action has been furious here for the last couple moments, so Coach Hart knows that with the short bench, he needs to utilize those timeouts. You're not getting any extra pay for taking them home, so you use them as you have them and get your team at least that energy level maybe back up to a higher mark.
That's an outstanding point. That's a really, really great point about that. And you might see a couple more timeouts here and there on both sides. You know,
exactly.
Even if the Eagles do continue to have a lead, you know, they're going to want to take some timeouts in order to get those rests for their players.
It'd be interesting to see if the Eagles, how they play this clock as well with the 2-goal lead, if they start to try to stretch out the pool and make Pioneer play more defense to try to take over the ball.
Well, it seems like the Eagles have been most successful on kind of fast break, fast moving situations. So you're right. If they do go into the offense and try to work around the perimeter a little bit, yeah, it'll kill some clock, but that doesn't really seem to be their bread and butter tonight. You see Krzyzikowski there, a little bit of a hand in her face. It's going to get her a few feet.
You really haven't seen, and just as I was saying that, you hadn't seen too many Eagles head to the penalty box, and now we have a penalty for 20 seconds for the Eagles.
And off Maddie McAdams goes. Big shot finds its way through Zessler on that one.
That's a hattie right now.
For Mary Beth Melcher, yes, indeed it is. Again, the main player that we talked about on the offensive side for the Pioneers is not disappointing right now, and she's coming up huge with 3:06 left here to go in the fourth. Now her Pioneers are only down by 1.
Yeah, and it immediately Pioneer took advantage of that man advantage, and no hesitation from their offense.
I'm not sure if McAdams was even in the exclusion area by the time that she fired that shot away.
Turned around and had to head right back.
Yeah, right. There, a nice interior pass to the whole set position, Maddie McAdams, who we were just mentioning.
I tell you, both coaches really utilize those timeouts. They come out, and their team really listens well. That is something that both coaching staffs really have to feel good about.
And that's the mark of a good coach right there. You know, when your called play is executed well. And here we go, Elson Locke once again moving forward on the fast break. Tons of speed, Locke moving forward. Kind of dragged down by the end there, though. No stoppage of play, just going to keep moving.
There should have been a stoppage of play. The near official was calling a penalty on number 4 for Pioneer, but the play continued to go. So now the officials, I think, it's going to reset it for the Eagles.
Guess we'll just go over the scorer's table and talk it out. I think that you're right, but again, I'm not sure. Yeah, we see a Pioneer player moving into that exclusion zone. I believe that's Evelyn Boughton again. And we may have a penalty shot on our hands here.
Yeah, because it was. You can see the players are setting up for a penalty shot, and you know that's something that you don't see too often, but this is what you want to see as a fan.
Absolutely. Again, sophomore Allison Locke there was far and away, and she does have a pretty strong shot. Let's see what she comes up with here.
Goldie's best friend.
Yeah, Packard did get a hand on that, but again, hit that side post. But I love the way that Locke and everyone obviously crashed into the goal after that shot was released.
And there again, the Eagles doing a good job on their defense. And you're right, Nick. They get out and they move it up the pool fast. Good pass.
Locke, nice cross pass over to Madison Denninger. Excellent save there by Packard. Great job by Packard keeping her head on his shoulders. That's a timeout immediately by Coach Hart.
Wow, it looked like the ball was in the middle of the pool and nobody really had possession when the timeout came. It was an errant pass by the Eagles. It looked like there was an open Eagle player swimming to it, and then the next thing you know, Will Hart, being a smart coach he is, he goes and grabs that air horn to call a timeout.
Perfect time for Will Hart to call that timeout because, again, his team seemed like they were kind of on their heels, and they weren't able to catch up with the speed of the Eagles, what they were doing. So he needs to stop things, get everything back in working order.
So taking a look at that last block, you see Packard come right up out of the pool. Good job.
Yeah, Packard did an excellent job of cutting off the angle on Denninger on
And
that
closing
one.
down that
Yes,
hole. Yes.
Only one timeout remaining for each of these coaches with 1:52 left to go in the game. I have a feeling, like you said, Kevin, I think we'll see both of these timeouts burned before we're done here.
Yeah, and I'm anxious to see what type of offensive set that Pioneer comes out with. You know, they're going to come back after just stopping a penalty shot. That's something to build momentum off of. You're only down one here, and one more possession, that could be the possession that puts you into this match, because you've been fighting uphill the entire this entire game, it seems like.
Yeah, you're right. And again, as soon as they get near the top of that hill, then they're
Skyline.
back 2 steps down. Yeah.
Yeah, the Eagles, their defense has been, you know, on the spot with some quick turnovers. Be a big win for the Eagles.
Oh, for sure. Again, they're 6-5 right now, just coming off a victory against these same Pioneers this past Friday. To beat them 2 games in a row makes you feel pretty good when you're playing all these, inner city games.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm sure that we're going to have to go look in the Skyline archives to find, a game between these 2 programs where Skyline has come out on top twice.
Sure. And as things stand, by 1 goal each time.
Yeah, these 2 teams they're very evenly matched.
Yeah, we're getting our money's worth here tonight for Game of the Week on a Tuesday.
Got a little bit
Love
of
it.
a defensive match, man.
Yeah. You see Kurzakowski once again. She just seems like she just hasn't been able to get things moving. Errant pass inside, intercepted by Ella Sadler. Sadler will break out to the right side of the pool now.
And you see now the Eagles are doing let's take this shot clock down before we trigger our offense to limit the amount of time that the Pioneers will have once that shot clock runs out.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that is kind of where they're going with this. But again, you don't want to get away from your bread and butter. Oh, nice shot there.
Wow, what a save.
Just a great spin shot from Maddie McAdams. Probably didn't even barely see the net when she let that one go.
Well, she can just pop out of the water in this net, and you can see it right here. It's a good angle. Wow, she extended I think that was with the pinky.
That's maybe.
She extended every, aperture she had out there on that hand, man.
That's great awareness by Maddie McAdams, knowing where exactly the goal is. But again, Emma Packard, being a crafty veteran that she was, not fooled, ready to go the whole way. You got Zissler moving things forward.
And you can see how the Eagles' defense, they're actually allowing, or even when they're on offense, they have somebody right at the head of the pool to stop any type of transitions by the Pioneers.
Yeah, this is full court defense, for lack of a better term, right here.
Yeah, and this is probably going to be it looks like we're going to have a checking of the clock again.
Yeah, why not? It's been a few minutes since that's happened.
Yeah, these guys, they want to show off their white shoes.
I mean, if you could get your shoes and your shoots that white, you'd show them off too. Those things are killing the white balance for those cameras up there.
True that. All the way to the shoes, though.
Yeah, there we go. It's first-year referee Ewan Woodcock, actually. Woolcock, Ewan Woolcock.
See how I didn't touch that?
Hey. Touch what? I don't know what you're talking about.
No. I thought you were going to start talking about his shoes again.
Nah.
Will's a good guy.
He probably knows that the shoes are a bit of an issue.
He came over and whispered, it was my bad. I didn't know CTN Sports were going to be here. Big possession here.
Just kind of a lofty shot there by Sarah Morris. Once again, 33 seconds here to go in this matchup.
And there you go with that final timeout. You can see Coach Hart, he had his hand right over.
Oh, he was 100% ready for that 30-second spot on the clock. He's only got 26 seconds on the shot clock, but he's going to draw up his best play right here, right now, and see what kind of opportunity he can get his girls.
We'll go out on a limb. Who's going to shoot this one, Nick?
Well, I mean, if it's not Mary Beth Melcher, I will go and eat somebody's white shoes. Although that can always be kind of a distraction play too. You know, you know, everybody hones in on that main player who you think is going to be getting the ball, and then all of a sudden that kind of peripheral type player.
I mean, that would be truly a surprise.
Agreed. I wouldn't put any money on that by any means.
So it'd be interesting from this side if the Eagles will come out and they'll stick on that tough man-to-man defense, because their tough man-to-man defense is called multiple turnovers. But if they want to play it safe and go back in that zone, that might be opening Pandora's box up to something you don't want to have happen.
And I really don't think that would be something that Coach Godek would be interested in, and kind of sagging in and giving those opportunities, because as we've seen, you know, Melcher can shoot from anywhere. She doesn't need to be right in that 2-meter spot right in front of the net. She can get it done from anywhere. So I think it would be silly, for lack of a better term, to just kind of give them, anybody on that Pioneer side, any breathing room. Well, I think you're going to see, you know, face-to-face players here.
Well,
but I'm also not the coach, so what do I know?
Well, and I was going to say, you got two big-time coaches here. So for you and me to try to second-guess them, that's not going to happen. Let's just sit back and watch this one.
For sure. Here we'll see that interior pass. Packard will get it going. And there's the whistle. Clock gets moving.
There's our first answer for the Eagles. They're not in any kind of zone defense.
No. Oh. No, again, they're pressing as close as possible. And here's Melcher with it.
And there's a penalty for the Eagles.
That's Maddie McAdams going off once again. Again, just a little bit too tight. You got Kurzakowski. They're not giving Melcher any space,
no,
any
Sadler's
breathing room.
Right there.
That might be the first time that Kurzakowski's even taken a shot today. Solid effort.
Coach Godek is wondering why the stoppage of play. She's discussing it right now with the official. I think they anticipated the timeout.
The timeout was called, and she looked a little surprised as to what was happening at that point. I don't think she's complaining too much, but here we go.
And maybe she had wanted to call timeout, and then when she saw that her player was about to take possession of the ball, she said,
no thanks.
Can I get that back?
It's neither here nor there. Here we are. See that chance by Kurzakowski right
and
there.
And it was actually deflected out front. That deflected it up into the post. So we were talking earlier in the match about the defense in front of the netminders needing to step up, and there was a great job by, I believe that was 15, putting a hand up in the air for the Eagles.
Yep, Allison Locke right there, trying to get even a couple of digits on that to redirect it a little bit higher, and that seemed to work out.
Well, see here now, Nick, with only 15 seconds left in the match, the goal for the Eagles really is just to get the ball up pool. Once the ball is up pool, it's going to be very difficult for the Pioneers to matriculate it back up pool within the amount of time that we have on the clock.
No, you're completely right about that. And again, that is actually the forte of the Eagles, as we've seen over and over again. They're quick. Now the matter is, can you dig deep one last time with 15 seconds here in the fourth quarter to get that speed, to utilize that speed one last time in order to finish this game off. Did you say matriculate? Meticulate? That's a great word.
I know, man.
That is $1 million word. That's going to be on HQ later, I think. Hashtag thesaurus.
Nice.
And we're still deciding where this guy's getting dropped in.
So Pioneer actually has their defense, their best shooter, down pool in case there's a turnover. They're going to throw the ball right up to
cherry
Melcher.
Picking a little bit, and then I think also playing defense so they can't go back to Zessler. So that's a pretty smart play.
Yeah.
You've got Maddie McAdams there. Now moving it right to the center of the pool for Allison Locke. Locke finds Morris. So this is just kind of a zigzag match at this point.
Well, now they did their job. They eliminated the clock.
No, you're right. Morris gets it up, and that'll do it here for CTN's Game of the Week. That'll be the Skyline Eagles coming up on top over the Pioneers. 5-4, and it really was a nice matchup, back and forth. We saw some really interesting offense. You know, we saw some back and forth defense that first half, and it was a good one. But stick around. I believe you're going to talk to Coach Godek. Is that right?
That's indeed. And welcome back to the CTN Sports Game of the Week. I'm joined now with the winning head coach, Rebecca. That was a close match. Some of those final timeouts really made the difference. What were you saying to your team during those timeouts?
Well, yeah, first of all, it was a nail biter. And I was telling my team, when we have the ball and we're on offense, stay calm. The ball is the safest when it's in our hands, and being up by 1, low on the shot clock, we just want to make sure we protect it. During the fourth quarter, we got a little frantic, I think, and we started to tense up when someone would come defend us, and we would just kind of throw it to the closest person, and that led to some silly turnovers, which we obviously did not need. So, you know, especially with the last couple minutes, hey, just protect the ball, swim it out, worst case scenario, throw it back to our goalie, or if we need to, dump the ball in the corner, take away or waste the shot clock, and take their advantage the way. Defensively, playing smart. We don't need to make any, you know, useless fouls or over-aggressive fouls that could get us ejected. And just very last minute, like, the pressure's high and it gets intense and we sometimes get a little bit emotional, but just stay calm. They know what to do, and, you know, let their bodies do the job for them rather than their minds overthink too much.
Well, your team obviously comes away with the win. It improves against a crosstown rival. What do you think, what you can put your hat on, something that they learned in the pool tonight?
I think they learned they're capable of, or that they've done a much better job with their shooting options. We struggled in the beginning of the season being too afraid to shoot. And we had a lot of missed shots this game, which, you know, we want to improve that. We want to be putting the ball in the back of the net. But also, 2 months, even a month ago, we weren't taking half the shots we're taking now. And I actually wasn't too upset with a lot of the shots we were taking. So I think that, you know, after one of those timeouts, we scored 2 quick goals in like a minute or so. And I think that kind of boosted their confidence. Like, hey, we're good. We can. When I see the open shot, I'm the shooter rather than I'm scared and who else can I give it to. But I think they're becoming a little more confident in themselves, which is good to see.
Well, that's real good to see, especially here on our CTN Sports Game of the Week. Congratulations again, improving to, I think you're 2 games over 500 now. Congratulations. Until next time on CTN Sports, thank you. Awesome. We'll send it back over to you, Nick, to close out our broadcast.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. As usual, we need to thank everybody that makes this amazing broadcast possible. We've got our camera operators, Jill Andrews and Natalia Tejeda, Gage Shaughnessy on audio and replay, and our distinguished director, Rob Cross. Once again, from Skyline High School, we've got a 5-4 victory for the Eagles over the Pioneers. For Kevin Bryant, I am Nick Wisniewski. We'll see you next time.